Hello everybody, my name is Yeli and I am going to be talking today about an update. I'll touch base with my doctor's visit, which I just came back from, and talk a little bit about what's been going on since the last video. Today is day 38 on Mounjaro. So I think the last time I made a video, and I would have to check, I just haven't had the time to go back and see, but I think it was when I was on cloud 9 because it was the last week of my shot. Yeah, it was right before my first shot of the second box. So that last week of 2.5, you know how 4 injections come in a box. So that last week of that 4th injection was wonderful. My sugar was the lowest ever. I was active. I have maintained that activity, but I was active. I was feeling well. I was not feeling tired. I was doing my protein shake, my electrolytes, eating my meals the same way. And I felt that that's the best the medicine has ever worked for me. I don't know if this was a mistake or not, but since I was feeling that great, I didn't take the shot on a Monday. I waited for Tuesday. On Tuesday, I felt a small, tiny pinch of hunger, but I still didn't feel, it just went away super fast. So I waited then till Wednesday and I took my first shot of the second box of 2.5 on Wednesday. I do have to say that Wednesday evening, I was already feeling like, okay, maybe I waited one day too long. I think it would have been perfect to just do Tuesday and not Wednesday. And all of this, let me just get that out of the way. All of this was talked over with my doctor. We made the plan and she allowed me to make the decision of observing how to feel, and she gave me the guidelines to follow. Okay, and also I am not a doctor. I don't intend for this to be any type of medical advice. You guys have to talk over with your doctors whatever it is that you think about doing, because we're talking about medicine, and in my case especially because I have Mounjaro and metformin, I really have to be careful because I don't want to go into hypoglycemia either. So anyway, I waited one day too long, right? So the first day after the shot, which I typically don't feel hungry at all, felt like the 4th, 5th day after the shot. So, I wasn't quite feeling the appetite suppression that I was feeling before on Mounjaro. I was still not really that hungry. I can't say there was food chatter, but there was definitely not the same feeling that I had when I decided to wait a couple of days more to get the shot. So I did see how my relation to food was a little bit different, but I still, for the first few days of my 5th shot, I still kept on eating like I was eating, doing my protein shake, being active, but my sugar started going up. And whenever my sugar goes up, I get hungrier and I am more drawn to carbs. So the fact that Mounjaro makes me feel full, but also that it helps lower my sugar, it acts double on me, right? Because when my sugar is lower, I don't have like that need to come and eat something that's just gonna make it worse. And it's a physical need that I've struggled with my whole life, and especially even more so ever since after I was diagnosed with diabetes. So anyway, I didn't quite feel right. At a time, I was even thinking, like, if you would have told me that I injected a placebo, I would have believed you because it did not feel like I had injected the shot. Anyway, I kept on journaling. I kept on looking at everything and just kind of seeing if it was like temporary, because I do remember then, I think it was the 3rd week of my 3rd shot, I had a couple of days where it kind of was like this. So I kept on waiting for it to get better, but this was not a 1-2 day fluke type of thing. This was a whole week and degradation, it was just going downhill constantly. Yesterday, on Tuesday evening, No, I'm sorry. Yesterday was the day of the shot, and I take it at night. And I felt like I almost wanted to take it on Tuesday night, but I had not discussed this scenario with my doctor because we had just discussed the scenario of delaying it, not of doing the shot one day earlier. So I didn't want to go ahead and, decide that on my own without having to talk to her first. And I was going to her today, so I said, you know what? Let me wait. I took my shot yesterday. And yesterday, like, I was very, very hungry, and I take my shot like around 9:30 p.m. So I was really hungry, and I even had a snack before bedtime, which I typically don't do, right? And not to mention that even though like the first few days I was just eating the same that I was eating those days where it was going great and I was losing weight again, I gained it almost all back. Like, I am still nine and a half pounds down, but I did gain the last couple of pounds that I had lost. And I was like, this is just so weird. But of course my sugar was going up, so it wasn't really quite that strange. So I talked to her today, right? I went there today. She's super happy with my numbers, and there was not further improvement because my estimated A1C was still 6.1. Had I not had this bad week, I'm sure that would have gone down, because the week before, like, my numbers were beautiful. I was below 100 a lot of times, but then this week I've been over 100 almost all the time. So last week my sugar, what is it called? like the median type of sugar of the day, like, it was 119, and this week it's gone back up to 130. So you can see how I felt like I was not on Mounjaro. We talked, and she said, okay, we're going to 5, but we are definitely leaving out the nightly metformin, because what she does not want me to do is have a hypoglycemia like episode or something of that sort while sleeping. And she did mention that that tends to happen a lot at night, especially when you're combining it with metformin. So she said, okay, let's do it, and let's just take that one away and watch for the morning one. If at times you feel that you want to just do half of the 500 milligram metformin, feel free to do that and adjust as you can see, because she said, like, you check your glucose frequently. I trust that you're looking at all of this, and she coached me right on what to look for and what to see. And she's also, if anything, what she's telling me is to just be mindful of hypoglycemia, right? I'm the one who doesn't want to completely take away all metformin, because I kind of want to see how it's going, because I've also known when I've taken off metformin in the past, that has directly affected my sugar levels and my weight. But since I'm going to 5, it makes sense that this is something that we're going to be doing, right? So next week, when it's time to do the 5, the injection of the 5 milligram, I am definitely going to start ditching the nightly metformin, and I'm only going to do the morning one. And of course, I'm going to be watching my sugar, because if my sugar, the dawning effect, I have that. So my dawning effect was almost controlled. Like, it was going up a little bit, but the highest it was going up to was like the 120s, right? This week it's back to the 140 somethings or 150 something, or I don't know. I think I even had a 160 something reading, which I hadn't had in a few weeks. So yeah, do I regret not having titrated up to 5? I was thinking, well, hey, hindsight vision is 2020. So had I known all this, I would have definitely gone to 5, but I didn't. And I needed to try, and I was having certain side effects, and I needed to just give it a try to see what happens if I continue on the 2.5. So quite possibly these 2 weeks that I've, 1 week that I've been, and now that I had my shot yesterday, this is going to be the second week. With the 2.5, well, maybe it would have been better being on the 5, but this is how it happened, and I'm okay with it, because for me, this is not a race. This is a marathon, right? So slow and steady, I don't mind that. And the ups and downs with weight, I also know that that happens, and sometimes it can just be water weight. I do still feel my clothes fitting better. My measurements are still there. So sometimes those 2 pounds up or down don't mean anything if it doesn't show on the measurements as well, right? So she's super excited. The numbers look good. She prescribed 5, and now I start thinking, am I gonna find it? Especially because we have to go through the pharmacy of the hospital, like where our insurance is from. Otherwise, my copay is crazy, and I need prior authorization, and I need whatever. I need, to jump through hoops and loops. So the first thing I did as I got out of her, of the consult and got into the car, was call the pharmacy. So I was like, hey, do you have the 5 milligram Mounjaro? So the lady says one moment, she puts me on hold for a while. Finally, she gets back to me, and then she's asking me, right, my information. And to me, it's weird because I just wanted to know if they had it in stock. So she's like, I don't see your prescription in just yet. And I'm like, okay, my doctor was sending it, so I don't know what's going on. Anyway, I tell her, well, but what I want to know is if you have it in stock, right? Because if not, then I need to figure out what to do. And she said, well, the reason why I was seeing if your prescription was in is because we only have 2 boxes. So first come, first serve. I am so glad that I decided not to leave, because parking there is so hard. So I got out of the car, went back upstairs, and I told the secretaries, which they're lovely. we always chat about, progress and all that stuff. So they're wonderful. So I went up and chatted with them, and apparently the doctor was in the process of doing it, but there was an issue, and so they helped fix everything, figure it out. And then she came and looked in her computer, and she said, yep, they received it. I'm seeing it here that it shows us received by the pharmacy. So I went back downstairs. I called again. So they found me, and I'm asking the girl, when is the soonest that I can pick it up? Because I still have a week, but I don't want to wait till the last day, because if this doesn't work out, I need to be able to have a plan B and get it somewhere else, especially because this is where I can get it with 0 copay, right? So she kept me on hold for a while, and then came back, and she's like, yeah, you're fine. We don't need authorization. We don't need anything. We can fill it for you. My doctor also said that nausea really gets big with the 5. So she did prescribe the anti-nausea medication, and she said, listen, if you start feeling it come in, take it. Don't try to brave it. And you might need it for the first few shots, but again, like, our plan is to try to stay on the 5 as much as we can. She also said that at first, if I feel it's going well, to feel free to space the shots out a little bit and not have them weekly, and just have them every 8, 9, 10 days, try to figure it out, right? So she's giving me a lot of flexibility to figure out what works best for me. And that is wonderful. I love it. And she also sees that I'm doing it responsibly. She sees how my numbers are working. And when you're diabetic, you can't really lie about the numbers when you have a continuous glucose monitor, because that will reflect exactly what you're eating. And I can tell you, like, the other day that I made hamburgers at home, I didn't have the high fiber bread, so I just kind of ate the regular bun, but I cut a little bit off of it so it wouldn't be the full amount, even though it's 35 grams of carb, which I am allowed per meal per my nutritionist. But I know that bread just does a number on my sugar. So when I did that, I was very mindful of eating in a right way. And yes, I did see a little bit more of an increase in sugar, but it wasn't drastic. It wasn't crazy. Why? Because I've been doing a good job. However, if I were to decide to do this every single day and eat rice, potatoes, or flour, which is what makes it go crazy, then I'm going to start seeing how it's going to creep up and stay up and not want to come back down. So of course that was like a one-time thing, but if you keep on eating that way, it's going to show on your glucose monitor, right? So it's going to show on mine. So she's been seeing, and she's like loving how steady it is. That's the thing. She was like, I don't see the peaks, the ups and downs. I'm seeing a lot of steady. That's wonderful. Your numbers are looking great. And I was excited about that too, especially because I had that great week in, right? So altogether what she's looking at, including that good week and this bad week, they kind of even out. But I know how I felt the last, the week prior to this one and how I felt this week. So I want to feel like I felt the week prior to this one. So anyway, we're ready for 5. I'm excited. My pharmacy said that I can go at 1 p.m. and pick up my 5 milligram prescription, and it is 11:50. So I am watching the clock. I don't think I'm gonna go at 1 p.m. though, because I have to take my daughter to gymnastics. But hey, believe me when I say that once I drop her off, I'm gonna head on over because I do not want to take any chances. They only had 2 boxes of medicine, and the girl was like, you know what, I'm gonna pull it out for you right away. And I was like, thank you. So they need to do their thing, and they need time to do it, right? And I need to give them like the 3-4 hours that they need to do it. But you can be sure that I'm going to be there today, and I will rest and be okay when I have my box in the fridge. So that's my update, and I feel great. I still feel good. Not as great as I felt that week. I want that feeling again, because that week was like I was, like I had that extra boost of energy, which is one of the things I like the most about this medicine. It levels my sugar and it drops and it lowers it so much that I feel like I can do things that I was not being able to do for the longest of time. So that's like my takeaway, my biggest thing, and that I'm gonna be there again. So this week, I'm hoping it goes well. I'm hoping I don't have to go through what I went this last week. Also, I've realized when I take the shot on my left or right leg, I think I feel the effects of Mounjaro differently. Every time I've struggled and had food chatter days, it's been on my left leg. And the times that I've injected on my right leg, I have not had food chatter days. So it makes sense to start a new higher dose on my left leg, right? So, and that's what's going to happen. So I'm hoping that this week it's at least stable and things don't start creeping back up. I will keep you guys posted, of course. And that was just it. I just wanted to do an update, letting you guys know where I am, and just letting you guys know that I appreciate you guys being here so very much, and help me keep accountable. And of course, hit that like, that subscribe, and turn on the bell notifications so we can keep on doing this together. And thank you to all that have shared your comments, your experience, and what's worked for you, because that always sometimes helps spark a conversation with my doctor to see, like if nobody is telling me what they're doing, I sometimes don't get an idea that I get by hearing people share what they're doing. So it helps me be prepared and try to manage this the best way possible. Ask all the questions that I can when I'm at that visit, so that I can make informed decisions when I need to. So there we are. Thank you, thank you, thank you for being here. And I will see you in the next one. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye, guys.